And once again, we are back with Exploring the Blueprints of Your Life with Debbi Coleen, Eastern and Western Astrology Considered. And we are looking at the patterns of our lives as we consider this is the year of the sheep, Chinese astrology. And we've talked about previously, we've done previous segments on rat, ox, tiger, and rabbit, so people born in those years. And then we talked about dragon, snake, horse, and sheep. Dragon, snake, horse, and sheep in a sheep year. And now we're going to talk about monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And I also want to mention once again that this is something that Debbi writes about on a regular basis. She does a column for True Blue Spirit magazine, and I believe you can get that online. Just Google truebluespirit.com, I believe, and you'll get her column and a whole lot of other interesting people as well. So, but right now we are going to get into this chat. Welcome, Debbi Coleen. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us to see what this means for us.
Thanks, Catherine. I'm so enjoying this. The last two programs that we did on the other 4 each time was so fun. So this is a great conclusion of the last 4 animals in the Chinese lunar cycle that we're completing now. And
it's so helpful for people to be able to have these different, I love the patterns of our lives, because it's everything, all these different influences. And to me, this is empowerment. We don't have to, I always tell people, discern for yourself what works for you. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to know, this energy is supporting me. This energy is not, so that we can work with it.
Exactly.
So let's start with year of the monkey, or born in the year of the monkey, living in the year of the sheep.
Yeah. Well, this is an excellent year for monkey. They're just going to they're lucky in everything. Love, money, work, health. There's the only thing they might meet up is some jealous or if they're not giving enough attention to their personal relationships, or if they have relationships that they're not valuing the way the other person in the relationship values, there could be some, we could say, testiness.
Okay.
A little bit of jealousy, perhaps.
When you said monkey is lucky, and that, were you talking about they're like that all the time, or just particularly in this year of the sheep?
Monkey has a lot of luck all the time, but particularly in year of the sheep. It's going to be a great year. While everybody else is going to be quite busy making the most of their opportunities and exploring what's happening, actually, monkey doesn't have to work very hard this year.
Nice.
It's not going to do them any good to work hard this year, so they can run on the treadmill. But monkey being monkey, they're probably not really going to want to work that hard. Monkey's very good at watching for the opportunity and also having a lot of fun while they're doing that.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Again, concentrating on peaceful, harmonious relationships. Sometimes monkey can be a bit of a tease, or, work on their own, what works for them. So what monkey's going to be working on, just like everyone else, is that relationship that we have either in groups or with family members, with friends, and with significant others. So they're going to be able to make a lot of progress in all relationships. They're going to have luck come to them in work and also in their personal life through relationship. Monkey's very good at they can manipulate relationship, but it's not going to work this year. This is time for monkey to be very authentic and to look at their relationship skills. Monkeys have good relationship skills when they put their attention on them. And so this is a good year to do that, because their luck is coming through other people.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so now the next animal is rooster.
Yeah, this is a practice year for rooster. So there's lots of opportunities. Roosters had kind of a few years now where they have been learning a lot about themselves, letting go of a lot of things that didn't work and picking up on things, being clear about what they really want. So letting go of some rules and allowing themselves to dream a bit more.
That's always a good year.
It is. It is. So this, for a rooster, though, what's going to happen this year that they might not like is because this is a practical year, they're going to be given lots of practice. So that
Oh,
means repetitions. But that's great because this is where they focus in more and more and more on how to do things in simpler ways, happier ways, letting go of kind of expectations and going with the flow. That's, they're going to be practicing going with the flow.
okay.
They have that time to see what they enjoy. They get to see how things actually work as they do them.
Okay. So they're supported as well in moving into the practical, because that's sheep's energy is about practical, grounded.
Exactly. And so is rooster. Rooster is probably the most practical sign of them all. It's, they deal with details and they deal with routines. They deal with getting things done. They deal with the pragmatic, let's look at this. Let's pay attention here. And that's, sometimes they get into too much routine, too much pragmatics, too much hard work sometimes. And so this year for Rooster is the perfect time to concentrate on the people skills yet again and to really become proficient in new understandings and behaviors that they've learned. So they're changing their lives now and they're actually moving into it. They're having the means put right into their hands to start achieving what they've been longing for in the last couple of years.
So this is like practice because it's going to be their year in 2 years. So
that's right.
So practicing before they are the host, I guess, too, right?
That's right. Yes, that's right. They're going to be practicing so that they're very proficient at at being good at what they want.
Okay, so this, if it's a practice year, would this be the year Rooster would probably not want to be, or maybe they would be wanting to dabble in some new business or new things?
Yes, it is probably new things in the outer world. These are things they've been practicing in the inner way, indeed. And so, it's like when you have a new routine that you want to try out, like say you're practicing for a dance competition and you've imagined this, you've choreographed it, but now it's time to actually work out the places where it's not working as well as it did in theory.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so it's a good time to slow down and pay attention. Actually, especially when Rooster's driving, because that's a driving force. Rooster has a driving force. So the truth of actually being on the road in a car. So also a good year to practice exercise and healthy eating habits. All the different parts of a healthy life, the spiritual, the intellectual, the emotional, and the physical. This is where they all come together in practice.
In sheep year.
In sheep year, yes, indeed.
Okay.
And of course, doing things peacefully and harmoniously.
Yeah, well, that's and that's for everybody too this year. So now we move into dog.
Yeah, dogs are having a great year. Not hard work for dog, just paying attention. So dog does better not be barking and chasing and, wagging the tail and looking for attention. It's a good time for dog to sit and just listen, pay attention to the details, keep themselves, keep in mind where they want to go rather than being chasing rabbits.
But they do they do herd sheep too, so I'm kind of wondering, is not the year to herd them? This is the year to size it up. Where are they going? And
Well, dogs are going to have their regular work to do. It's just a year where relationships are supportive. So, dog has put a lot of effort in the last few years into paying attention to how they get along with people, letting go of some rules and routines. Dog is ready now to move into more spontaneous, in the moment, try it out, do it, and to pay attention to their one-on-one relationships, their group relationships with people. A dog is very much about peace and harmony anyways, although they're kind of the watchdog. They're the ones who say, oh, this should and that shouldn't. And they've been learning not to do that so much. They also have a bit of a crankiness that needs to be dealt with. And same as sheep. Sheep has a kind of a crankiness when too much is being demanded of them. Dog has that too.
Okay.
So it's time to look at that, because crankiness is not going to work.
Not in the year of peace and practical application. So I can see that for sure for dog. And then
dog has a kind of a fearfulness. Sheep has a kind of a fearfulness. Horse has a kind of a fearfulness. All three of these animals need to look at what are the underlying issues of this fear and let it go, like the practical aspects of letting go of their fear and moving out into the world in a less fearful, more people-oriented, accepting, in the moment, doing what's right.
Confidence.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so should we move on to people born in the pig year then?
Yeah, great year for pigs. Romance for singles. Good response at work. Better year than last year. Steady financial gains. Nothing over the top. It's not a bonus year. It's a year when, we're all of us, and pig is a good example of this. We look at the bottom line. We make sure the basics are covered, and we put away our pennies for another time, because after sheep year, there's going to be times when we want to purchase something bigger. It's not, so we got to learn. And pig shows us this exactly: is not to fritter our resources, not just our money resources, but our time and attention resources. It's a good time for pigs to learn to control their impulses, not to lose their spontaneity, but not to follow, to pay attention to what could become, addictions. Pigs tend to become addicted to things kind of easily, especially luxury and, soft life kind of things. That's not going to work for pig too well this year. They're going to have to pay attention to their diet and their exercise, and to, look at what are they doing and look at the bigger picture of what they've created. Look down the road 10 years is what they're doing now to react to things, to suppress things. It's all going to start erupting because, peace and harmony means being at peace and harmony with our bodies, as well as our emotions, as well as each other, so that's spiritual, intellectual, emotional, and physical peace and harmony.
So for pig in a sheep year, it seems that they would be supported then in finding more practical ways to live in harmony, like you say, and peace with themselves and peace. Like this would be the year to maybe make those changes, would it?
Yes, it is. They're going to have to, because things at different levels, pigs are good at suppressing things, ignoring things, working around things, and those things are causing a lack of harmony with themselves and with other people. It's going to come to the surface early in the year. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad, because it isn't going to be bad. It's just that pigs are ready for this. They're ready to think about, okay, what's going to happen if I continue doing this? They're going to see examples around them, and they're going to have those, those things, those intimations of mortality that warn us that we can't keep using up our health, using up our resources. It's just time to be a little more serious in our world. And it's that kind of year for pig. But they're ready. They're ready for it. It's not going to be a big 2x4 to the head. It's going to be, this is starting to work better.
So we might see people that have been born in the pig year maybe stepping up, being supported by sheep energy on not just in their personal lives, but maybe those are the people that are going to start speaking up about how we use resources on the planet, how we do things collectively. Is that part of it?
Yes.
When that supports you in stepping out? And
that's right, because pig doesn't want anybody to suffer. Mm-hmm. They're, a lot of times what they're suppressing is their own suffering because they're supporting other people in their addictions, or they're putting up with other people. So it's, those burdens are just time to put them down.
Awesome.
And they're not supportable this year.
That's very cool. And what I was thinking is, I know as this sort of spin-off show from Let's Go Deep or Go Home, which is specific to these energies that Debbi, you are going to be sharing with us. One of the things that came to my mind was, and I'm wondering if this is something people can look forward to, is that if you are able to kind of help us to see where, say, if I'm born in the year of the rat, what people would be compatible for me to be in relationship with, to work for, if we can, is that a possibility that we can maybe do a show and take a look at each one of these individually, or a couple of them, and point out that, not that you can't be in relationship with, but what would be beneficial. Is that a possibility?
It is. And on a surface level, that's really helpful to know those things, but we have to realize that we're made up of composites of things. So, the Chinese look at the year as, the most important point, and then they focus in more and more on the individual. So you don't just have an animal that represents you in a year, you also have an animal that represents you in your month, in your day, and in the hour of your birth.
So then maybe it's more practical for each, maybe we can sort of explore a little bit on that, but it just occurs to me that maybe an individual person would benefit more from doing a private session with you, because there's so many layers. I mean, you look at all those things from the starseed blueprint and the numerology and plus all the insight from your guide. So maybe that is more practical for people then.
Well, and it's practical, there's different ways on the internet to look at your birth chart and see all that goes into it. Also, you can look at from the Western point of view, the Eastern point of view. There's other personality profiles like the Enneagram, and we look at our being in many, many different facets, because we're like a diamond, and in this time we're polishing up all the different facets of our being. So it's good to know that what are our individual facets, how do they work together, each of us. And sometimes a personal reading really is easier in that way, to really focus in on who we are in all those multiples of possibilities.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. And also the fact that there's different interpretations, and each person will have their own, you have to use your inner guidance when you're doing any of this kind of work. Like, does that resonate with me? Does it not? Like I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I was saying that I'm in a 9-year. And although globally we're in an 8-year in January, numerology, I'm finishing my 9-year, and I'll start my 1-year, because the 9-year cycles in numerology, on my birthday. But there are some numerologists even who disagree on that. Some people say it starts on your birthday. Some people say it starts on the new year. So, but you have to go with, for me, it's about, I take the information, and then I kind of look at my life, look back, look forward, and I kind of get a reading from that. That makes sense to me. To me, this is, makes sense. Or like even this information about what Chinese astrology, do you really feel like that's your personality or that's your influence? You have to do a little bit of discernment.
It's a really good point, Catherine, because we don't want to have that sense that we're being defined by these outer things. They're just viewpoints of different facets of ourselves. It's what do we do with it? Because truly, these facets is just the light of our spirit shines through them.
Right.
And that's what enlivens them. And what do we choose to do with those windows into the world?
Well,
How do we choose to have them work for us or teach us?
Yeah, and each person's going to have so I'm born in a year of the rat, but then I have my sun sign as well. Then I have my numerology of my name, my birthday, all of those different things. The genetics of the family, the dynamics of those roles. There's so many influences. That's
right. And while it's great to look at them all if we want to, some people aren't interested, but for the people who are, it's great to see them as possibilities and to use the information about what's going to happen in sheep year for you in a way that doesn't, you don't react in fear. You don't think of this as, oh no, it's going to be terrible. It's just a matter of going, okay, this is happening to me in this now moment. And it's sort of what I thought might, come from those predictions. But what am I going to do with this? How am I going to make this be more helpful and less onerous?
Yeah, and also when we're dealing with sometimes other people, like other relationships, if we kind of have a little bit of an inkling like, that person has, was born in the year of the ox or born in the year of the pig, you can have a little more compassion, a little more understanding. Instead of just going right into this, judgment, boy, they don't, they're not easy to get along with, or they are, or whatever it is, it can help you, don't you think?
It can. And from my point of view, it's like, what did we choose to come here to learn? What are we focusing on at this time in our evolution, which goes so far beyond this lifetime, and what's going on in our consciousness in this now moment? How do we just allow that to be and work with it so we get the maximum juice, the maximum experience for what wants to happen through us?
Yeah, I love it. I think that's fantastic, and I so appreciate you exploring the blueprints of your life with Debbi Coleen. I've so enjoyed this chat. Thank you so much, Debbi, and I look forward to our next chat as we explore more into the Chinese astrology and Western astrology and wherever that takes us. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Catherine.
And to everyone else who's listening, if you want to go back and listen to the previous shows where we've covered the other 8 animals in the Chinese Zodiac, or the primary show where we talked about the end of the year of the horse and the end of the year of the beginning of the year of the sheep, go to lgrcc.com, and the links are on the show page. And then, of course, there's also links on our YouTube channel. I invite you to share with your friends and help us to grow this network of shows, because this is how I feel we are really going to get to know each other. And when we get to know each other, we can transform our fears. Until next time, take care. We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care.